So before there was a Datsun 240Z or 260Z or 280Z or 300Z or 350Z or 370Z or whatever Z's we're up to these days, there was a car called the Datsun Sports, or also known as the Datsun Fairlady. And a company called Konami has gone and they made one a few years ago, and I thought I'd pick it up and I'll take a closer look today. This looks like it's new old stock. Okay, so it comes on a plastic base, and it's going to be screwed down. So the Datsun Fairlady, in this case, what we're looking at is a 1967 model. The 2000 means it's a 2-liter engine, making around 130 horsepower. Although there was an optional competition version with dual carburetors making around 150 horsepower, and the car only weighed around 950 kilograms. So it was actually very successful racing, doing a lot of club racing. There's also a 1600cc version, and between the 1600 and the 2000 series roadsters, they won 10 national SCCA championships. Okay. There was a first generation Datsun Sports or Fairlady, and that came out in 1959. But we're looking at the second generation one that came out in 1961, a little bit before the British MGB came out, which also actually looks a lot like this vehicle. And I would like to actually have in a premium format in 164, because that's a pretty iconic car itself. So this car was actually designed for mass production, whereas the very first generation Fairlady was mostly handmade. So it must have been an expensive model, that first one. I believe around 40,000 of these are produced across the two generations. Alright, so that's all I really learned. Hopefully you had some time to pause the video and compare the photographs. But let's take a look and see what Konami did here. So the wheels, not the greatest. They do look similar to those photographs. It's just that there's no air or even black paint where those spoke holes are. So that's kind of too bad. On the plus side, if it matters to you, they have suspension. Okay, so there's a little orange paint here and a nice silver line. Oh, and now I'm noticing some text. Let's see if we can read it. It's questionable. I mean, it says 2000, but that Fairlady, I suppose you can make it out. It's not the clearest though. It seems to be a little silver on the door handle, and that door handle seems to stick out a little bit. I think that must be a contaminant or a paint rash, because it's not on this side. Yep, so that's too bad. Well, alright, let's go around here. Some silver paint. This is the fuel filler, and then there's a key, and then maybe that's more text? No, it's just like a hand grab for the trunk. But here it does say Fairlady 2000 again. The taillights are just painted. They're hit with some silver and then some red afterwards. They're alright, I guess, for painted taillights. I would have preferred plastic, of course. It's really strange as to why they chose to do the convertible in the up position. Why would you want to model that? It is part of the casting. Like, wouldn't you want to make this model be in the convertible mode? Otherwise, you just make a coupe, right? It's kind of a strange choice why they would do that. The front grille here seems nice. Oh, look, there's a D for Datsun. And then it's chromed plastic. The bumpers are separate chrome pieces. So silver paint for the turn signals, and then a nice clear headlights here for plastic. And then the Datsun is printed there on the hood as well. Seems pretty legible. A little bit of chrome paint here. This is actually a little inlet, I think. There's no black though. The body panel gaps are pretty good for a model this old. And it's probably pretty old. Yeah, 2005. I think this is the last year Konami made models. I have enough of these now, but I've never seen one newer than 2005. So if you like these little cars, I suggest you maybe buy them before they vanish from eBay forever. Okay, they're press fit together. A little silver paint on this exhaust tip there. Separate chrome rear bumper. Yeah, alright. Something there with the roof. Maybe some abrasion with the blister. Well, I mean, it's not a bad model. Other than that, there really aren't any defects. That's the only defect there. Some paint rash, I think, is developing in that rear fender. But for a model that's 16 years old, I suppose it could have been a lot worse, right? Yeah, alright, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, if anyone knows of a better Datsun Fairlady 2000, please let me know, but I'm pretty sure this is the best model going right now in 164. So let's take a look here with its photos of the real thing again, and compare it to those cars again. So this one is by Konami, this 240Z. It's a special 432 model. So this is the car that replaced, you know, that. It's obviously grown in size a little bit. I do like that you can see a resemblance, you know, with the headlights. How these are obviously very recessed, but these here, they're still slightly recessed, so they carried over some of the design language. And then unfortunately the Hot Wheels is going to be out of scale. It's not 164. It's just massive, right? It's wow. Yeah, that's a big model that Hot Wheels did. All right. Okay, well, if you like the Z series of cars, technically this isn't it, but it's the predecessor. If this car never existed, there wouldn't have been a 240Z. And this car actually has some racing credentials, so I think it's a cool addition to my collection. Alright then, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.